Hey folks, welcome back to Cross Gaming News. So, I've got a lot of juicy details to talk about, so let's go ahead and get things started. So first off, whenever the E3 press conference was going on and everything like that, one of the games that finally got talked about was Dissida Final Fantasy, and needless to say, I've actually been waiting for this one to be talked about for a while, because for some reason it got released over in Japan for the arcade. And I was like, okay, this looks good enough to where it could be on console, so why is it not? Why have they not talked about this? And so this year at E3, they finally talked about Dissida Final Fantasy NT, which, for those of you that are asking, NT stands for New Tales. So I thought that was interesting, because at the time, some people were thinking it's Team Ninja backwards, which I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. It's like, yeah, Final Fantasy can be cryptic at times, but not that stupidly cryptic. Let me just put it that way. But whenever they finally showed off the fact that it was finally going to be on consoles in America release, I was like, yes, finally. This makes me happy. Because I played both the first one and then the Duodecimum for the PSP. And I really loved the gameplay of it. I really do enjoy it. And then to finally see it be released for the PS4 is like, this is even better. And I think it's about time we finally got a re-release of it, because, you know, we've already got up to 15 now. Even though they have yet to reveal a Noctis character gameplay. They've only showed up to like, I know that the latest one they've showed is like, other than the, I forgot the guy's name, but he's from Final Fantasy XIV. And then, of course, they've showed off Ace from Type 0, which I thought was interesting. So, they've got a good lineup of characters anyway. And, of course, the bad guys are going to be in it still, of course, obviously. But we also have two new characters, which I imagine you would be able to play as. I'm not quite sure. As of right now, these are like the two new characters replacing Cosmos and Chaos. But these are the two new characters that you're going to be intertwined with. And basically, the biggest difference, other than like the graphical improvement, that's like the biggest thing to take note of. But the only other big thing is two other key features. Actually, maybe even three, technically, if you want to be more specific. But the first key thing is that there are up to 3 characters on each side. In other words, a total of 6 characters on screen. And I don't think it's all the time, but I imagine that the 3 versus 3 is going to be pretty interesting. Especially if you consider the fact that they might include online multiplayer. I'm not quite sure if they even talked about it. I took a brief moment to be able to look at it, because let's put it this way. You don't have enough time on your daily schedule from either doing YouTube, work, and E3. It's not that easy. But I was watching the whole interview with the guy that worked on it and everything like that, and he was talking about how you can have like 3 characters on screen. And the biggest thing to take note of is that not only do you have those 3, but each character has a different type of job stats. Each one does like a certain particular thing. For example, Lightning is considered an assassin character, which means she's able to go fast in long range distance and be able to attack the opponent close on at a relatively quick pace. So it's like, okay, so in other words, they've implemented the ideal of strategy if you were to select 3 characters. But as far as I know, I don't think they've said that it's like 3 versus 3 players. I think it's more of like 1 versus 1 with just 3 characters on each side. And you got 2 characters to help you out. I'm not quite sure. But it definitely is looking really good. And the cool thing is that they showed off the summons in this one. And it's just, holy shit. The summons got an upgrade since Dissida. Since Final Fantasy Dissida, that is, to be precise. Because in Final Fantasy Dissida, you didn't really summon an actual creature, you just summoned the effects that they implement. You know, they had like 2 or 3 different versions of like one summon, and each one of them would have like a different status effect that it would do. Like some would either increase your attack power, some would either restore yourself, some would slow down the opponent. It depends on what type of summon that was and what they would do. So it was kind of interesting at the time, but this time around, you actually get to summon these creatures, and they're sort of like an ultimate final break type thing, because in the original version, when you collected the crystals, they build up your gauge in order to do like a final attack move. In this case, though, is now being used to, when you build up the gauge, you can summon up the creature that you have in your equipment, or I forgot how you could put it, but how would you technically classify it nowadays? Is it inventory? Is it equipment? I'm not quite sure, because this is technically Final Fantasy Dissida. It's sort of a fighting game in a final. It's like imagine the concept of a fighting game with Final Fantasy characters. It's different than what most fighter games usually go for, but in this case, it works out to its advantage, and that's why I really loved it so well. And I was just like, oh, I'm so glad it's finally coming to console. Record, it won't come out until 2018, but I'm still pretty excited about it. I'm pretty happy about it. So it's like, oh gosh, yes, finally we're getting Final Fantasy Dissida Final Fantasy NT. Is just, that makes me happy. I'm very happy about it. And like I said, the only reason why I didn't talk about it during my E3 video was because of the fact that they didn't really talk about it. So it wasn't until like afterwards that I did that video that I saw, and I was like, yes, finally it's being put on consoles. So definitely looking forward to it. The next thing that I want to go ahead and talk about is that we've got some really juicy details to talk about regarding Kingdom Hearts pop figures. Yes, we have official wording that there will be more pop figures being released. And the cool thing is that not only did somebody else did research on it, but I actually found out by accident, and I have a story to tell you about it in just a sec. But I was basically hearing from Cynical over on his gamer joint, Seesaw Snippets, and he was talking about how Funko Pop is actually finally releasing a Sora, Riku, Kairi, and a Heartless pop figure. And I was like, yes, finally we're getting them. We're finally getting them. That makes me so happy. Because I've already got Donald, Goofy, and King Mickey. So, I mean, I'm definitely planning on getting all of the Kingdom Hearts pop figures. Just not the duplicates. Although I may end up changing my mind before long. The reason why I say that is because of what I found out. As of, technically at the time of this video's release, yesterday. So, I was over at GameStop and everything like that because there was a shirt that I saw over in Cookville, but they didn't have it in my size. So, I called the guy over in Cookville and asked him if he had it in my size, and he's like, we happen to have one. And I was like, can you hold on to it until I get up there? He's like, sure can. And so, as I got up there, I went to purchase it. And he said, of course, obviously they do their normal spew thing. It's like, do you have anything you want to pre-order and stuff? And I was like, no, I'm good. He's like, you sure? You sure you don't want any collectible Kingdom Hearts type things? And I was like, keep talking. I just literally had that, and he just laughed. I think he knows me by now. I've been inside that store like once a month at least. Either whenever I'm paying pre-orders, or if I'm just looking around, or if I'm like planning on actually picking up something. He knows me too well, so... but anyway, though, he was telling me of how, at the time, they had him on pre-order listings. At the time, they had him on pre-order listings. So I'm not sure if it's 100% confirmed or if they changed it. Because, I mean, the company sometimes, you know, if there's a lot of time between, sometimes they can stop pre-order or they can change their minds altogether. So currently, right now, this is information that I have that he has shown me on the official company's computer listings. And like I said, they were available for pre-order, but they cut them off for some reason. So I don't know why, or if it's because it was like a mistyperation. But they are confirmed, technically. They are confirmed to be made. But there were two interesting key factors that was shown to me, and I'm not sure if they're like a GameStop exclusive type thing, or if it's something that they are considering doing, but they haven't released that information yet. Currently, on the listing that he had, there was a Fowler form version of Sora pop figure, which that's definitely what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to get the individual drive forms of Sora. I mean, I've got the individual drive forms of the Sora Play Arts Kai figures, so why not get them in the pop figure form? I mean, why not? But then there was one other thing that was shown. It was sort of like how Chip and Dale is, where it's like a 2-pack. This is how it is too as well. Is Sora in his, I imagine this is regular Kingdom Hearts 2 form, because so far they've advertised the other pop figures in Kingdom Hearts 2. So I imagine it's Sora in his Kingdom Hearts 2, especially, actually when you consider his Fowler form, it would have to be Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora. But they advertised that paired up with Soldier Heartless. And I was like, that makes me even happier, because if you've been with me and Delmar as we've been playing through the Kingdom Hearts series, my favorite Heartless enemy is actually the Soldier Heartless. I love the design of it. I don't know why, I just love it too much. And to see it actually become a pop figure, that gets me excited. It just, okay, so we have Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora paired up with Heartless Soldier in the pop figure twin pack. That's actually really cool. I'm really excited about that. So, as of right now, I'm not sure if that's 100% confirmed or if there was like some mistranslation or something like that. But if that ends up being confirmed, then that means we're potentially getting other forms of Sora. So I imagine we'll get like a Wisdom, Master, and Final form, and probably even Anti-Sora, probably, or even for that matter, a Limit form. I would not be surprised if they decide to do Limit form. But we'll probably be seeing those being released in like different stores. For example, Fowler form is obviously probably GameStop. Mostly because of it being blue, I would say the Wisdom form will be released at Walmart. Yellow, I want to say yellow would be like Target. I don't know why, but I imagine it would be Target. Anti-Sora, I don't know why, but I see Anti-Sora being released as a Hot Topic type pop figure. Don't ask me why, I'm just saying it seems that way. Or not, maybe even Final form, because I'm not even sure if they're even considering doing Limit form. As of right now, we don't even know what the others are, but I imagine since Fowler form is there, they would have to consider doing Wisdom, Master, and Final. But will they do Anti and Limit form? I don't know yet. As of right now, I have no more details as of that part right there. I only know of the two pop figures that he showed me as of official pre-order, but again, like I said, they cut them off a little bit too early. So maybe it might have changed up, maybe it is true, I'm not quite sure. But, yeah, it just, whenever I saw that, whenever he showed me that, I was like, holy shit, I've got some juicy details to talk about. And I never use that phrase, the phrase juicy. And whenever I saw that, I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. I actually know this. And it is actually there. Again, I'm not sure if it is true or not, but if it is true, then that means that we're getting all of the individual forms of Kingdom Hearts 2 of Sora. So that's going to be interesting. Plus Sora being released in a 2-pack with Heartless Soldier. That's going to be cool. I'm really happy. I'm hoping that eventually they'll consider doing the other Heartless pop figures. If this, I don't know why, but I like to see a Kirk Caesar pop figure, because they've actually got the bigger versions of pop figures, sort of like with the Big Daddy, some of the individual dragons from like different games and stuff. So I could definitely see them do Kirk Caesar pop figure. If they do that, I am pre-ordering that bitch. Kirk Caesar is my favorite boss of all times. And if that becomes a pop figure, I am pre-ordering that bitch. I'm getting that as soon as I can. I was just like, oh yes! But yeah, we're finally getting Sora, Riku, Kairi, and a Heartless pop figure. But like I said, if this ends up being confirmed true, then we're also getting the individual forms of Sora's drive form. So that's going to be cool to see. I don't have any photos to show because as of right now there are no pictures. They're kind of keeping this hush-hush, but the stores are already getting pre-order information as it is. So I say because of how quickly they have sold so far, they're trying to sell more as they get more information being released to them to where they can make sales and stuff. And that kind of makes sense. It does. But in terms of release date, he told me that it's going to be released in November. So as it gets closer to November, we'll be seeing more information of Kingdom Hearts pop figures. Which this gets me happy. This really does. It just, I love to see more Kingdom Hearts merchandise finally being made as of right now. And to see more pop figures finally being made, that makes me a happy guy. I'm happy all around. I've got a big old freaking smile on my face. I don't think I can make even... I think the only way I could do that, which would be kind of suicidal, but then again, the Joker has done it, is just carve little ridges just to make it even bigger. I think that would be the only way I could do it. Although it'd be kind of weird considering the fact that I've got this goatee, so... Oh well, whatever. But anyway though, that's going to be it for this video. Normally I would have more build up, but I figure with the 2 information that I've got currently right now, plus I really wanted to talk about the Kingdom Hearts pop figures that I found out, is like, so not only have we're getting more pop figures, but I also found out something interesting on the sidelines, so this is interesting. Like I said, as to how much this is confirmed, I'm not sure. Again, GameStop had the information and he revealed it to me. And it's like, they had the number, they had the listings, but again, the pre-order listing got cut off. So, as to like, if it's still on par, or if they are rechanging things, I don't know how much of it is true. But, because I mean, keep in mind, we're like months away from like November, so we won't know any more details until it gets closer to November. But that's interesting to know about some of the smaller details that I found out. So, hope you found this information interesting as much as I have. But, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, this is BlackCross signing off. Take care, guys.